Alrighty, guys, check it out. So the Bulls came to play today. We ended up going green after earlier in the day. You guys probably saw all the indexes were in the red. We can see an ascending triangle clear as day here on SPY, right? We're making higher lows. We were all throughout the day. We hit 404 in the pre-market. We hit about 405.03 or 405.20 to be exact here. That was at about 10 a.m. on the East Coast. And you guys can see all the higher lows, right? Look at all these higher lows. But at the same time, we've been getting rejected all throughout the day, and this is what I'm seeing right here. We're squeezing in this triangle at about $408, which you guys know 408 on SPY is a very big level. We've talked about this on the channel many times throughout the past couple of days. You guys can see if I pull up, this is the 20-day chart, we can see throughout the past couple of days, pretty much throughout February, 408 has held as support. But of course, you guys probably know, yesterday we collapsed right through it as the markets did not do well, and today we had that relief rally. We had a little bit of a run throughout the day, although the markets didn't do that well overall. I mean, the S&P only went up 0.25%, the Nasdaq actually went down 0.6%, the Russell went up 0.2%, as the Dow had a pretty good day, up half a percent. But overall, I mean, we're still clearly under 408. But who knows? Next week we could end up breaking out of this point, especially if this ascending triangle on the intraday plays out. Think about it, guys. If we crack over 408, just like that, I mean, we could be back in, breakout territory, because if we pull the 4-hour chart and we zoom in a little bit here, the uptrend, even though we had a bad day yesterday and kind of a day today, right? The uptrend is still holding on the 4-hour on SPY. You guys see that here. All we have to see now is the Bulls retake 408, 409, and honestly break back over 410. And if that does end up happening, we could really start to, I know it might sound crazy, but the uptrend from that point could continue. We could be going up to test 415. Maybe it goes up even more than that. And here on Triple Q, let me pull this up and show you guys. It's pretty much the same thing. We're holding above 300 right now, 295, which in general, that's a big support. That was resistance, triple top resistance from back in November throughout the middle of December. And if we pull up the intraday on Triple Q here, we're not really seeing too much of an ascending triangle if we're looking at, the intraday action all day. But we can see, on the other hand, a bit of a rally into the close. And we can see here we are creeping up a bit after the bell. And honestly, this does kind of look like an ascending triangle in the latter half of the day. If you guys take a look here, yeah, I mean, this is an ascending triangle. You guys see it, right? We have clear resistance at 300, but we've been making higher lows throughout the day, 297, 298.20, 298.60, and now in the aftermarket right around 299.50, and we're now trying to push over $300. We'll see. If this starts pushing over 300 again, 301, 302, that's where the Bulls could really start to gain the momentum again. And at this point, guys, at the end of the day, it is a waiting game. It's Friday night right now when I'm making this video. We're going to have to wait until, of course, Monday to see what direction we end up picking. And we do have a bit of a wedge here on the hourly chart as well, not only on Triple Q, but also on SPY. You guys can see this here if I clear the drawing set very quickly. What is that? Yeah, you guessed it. It is a wedge. You guys see that. So let's see what direction we end up picking next week. It's going to be critical. 400 breaks. Of course, the Bears are going to gain the momentum from that point. But if we break 410, start pushing 412, Bulls are going to gain the momentum on SPY. And if Triple Q starts falling under, let me pull this up. Triple Q starts falling under 295, 290. The Bears are going to gain momentum. I'll set my alert actually right now. Mark is at or below 290. Again, if that breaks, Bears gain momentum. But if we break above, let's say, 305, 306, that's where the Bulls gain momentum. So I'm going to set my alert at 305. Mark is at or above, and we'll see what ends up happening from that point. So let's run through some stocks and see what ended up happening today, guys. I mean, like I said, it was a mixed bag type of day. We covered the markets earlier. You guys saw it. But again, the Bulls ended up closing on a pretty hot streak, hot note, especially SPY. You guys can see again, like we covered about a minute ago. Now let's take a look at oil and see what happened there. We'll talk about the metals very quickly as well. Let's take a look here. So oil is at 80 a barrel. Look at that. Oh my gosh, look at this big move we saw. Was that earlier today? That was overnight, it looks like. 3 a.m. on the East Coast. Crude oil from 77.60 a barrel all the way to over 80 a barrel. That was a massive move of about 3.6%. And it kind of looks like we have an ascending triangle on crude oil as well. You guys see this right here? We have a clear resistance, and more like a wedge, I'd say. You guys see that right there forming. You could argue, is that a bull flag? I mean, I don't know. This might be, potentially breaking out if we start cracking above 80, 81 a barrel again. But don't get too excited, guys, because if I pull the 4-hour up, zoom in a little bit, get the channel tool, you guys are going to see we're still in this channel, horizontal channel, which you guys can see each time we've tested this in the past couple months, around 80, 82 a barrel. Oil's failed, and it's gone right back to 70 to 72 on the downside, right? So I wouldn't get too excited, even though it was a great week for oil. Yeah, it was pretty much the past week. It's gone up $7 a barrel. Very good week. I wouldn't get too excited yet. The chart does not look too great quite yet. And if we pull up the metals, let me take a look here at gold, guys. Quickly, gold went down on the day. Same with silver, and this is starting to break down here. Do you guys notice how it's making lower highs and lower lows now? And we're about to get a death cross on the 4-hour here. That's not good on gold, guys. The fact that this week we took out the lows from last week. Last week, the low on gold was around 1870. And earlier this week, I think we got down to 1850. 1860, actually, that was yesterday. So, the day before I'm making this video. So, gold looks like it is breaking down. Not the best sign here for the bulls. But then again, you could argue it's a short-term sell-off. But then again, you pull up the 3-year chart. Looks like it's now, maintaining this downward channel. Not the best sign. So we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out, guys, on gold. And if we pull silver up, you guys know it's pretty much the same thing. Silver's in this downwards channel, clear as day. And, I mean, look, it got rejected at 25. That's not a good sign. That's a lower high from the previous high. That was at 26.80, $27, which is lower than the previous high of 28.90. And the list goes on, right? We've been making these lower highs ever since the Russia-Ukraine war popped off, right? You guys remember that. That's when the metals were really going crazy. When was that? March of last year? That's when we saw the last big pump in the metals. Well, we had a pump recently, of course, but the fact that we didn't take out the highs from the Russia-Ukraine war when that first started, February, March of last year, that's not the best sign for the bulls here on the metals. And I don't know. It's going to be a waiting game. We have to wait and see. Does this break over 25 an ounce, or does it now fall back to the teens? Which, if it does, guys, I might consider picking up some silver. That's just me. We'll see how it ends up playing out, guys. So, of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you haven't hit that like button yet, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe as well. And let's talk about some stocks now. Some stocks here on the watch list. Let's do an update on Best Buy. We actually haven't done an update on this one in about a week, and we had a cup and handle on it last week. Let's see if that played out. Yeah, pretty much did. Cup handle. We broke out to the mid-90s. Now we saw a pullback. We have seen a pullback throughout the past week from the mid-90s, 93 to be exact. Now we're in the mid-80s. You guys can see we're at $85. This thing is down about 8% from the recent high. So this is actually potentially, I'm not telling you guys what to do, but this could be a re-entry point on Best Buy. If you missed that breakout to 93 that we called out last week, well, now could be your chance. You're looking at this. It got overbought. Now we're more oversold. We're holding the trend by the looks of it here above the moving average. So, yeah, Best Buy heading into next week. Looks like we have earnings, I believe, next week. Let me double check that, though. Actually, no, that's not next week. That is 3 weeks from now on the 2nd of March. So that in the beginning of March, they're going to be one worth watching. So keep your eyes on the dip here on Best Buy. We also had Starbucks do pretty well today, and this is about to break out of 107.50. That's a point that I mentioned. I believe that was earlier today or maybe yesterday, whatever day it was. It was recently, guys, and I think if we do break that 107.50, we could see a pop towards the top of this channel, anywhere from 110, 111, 112. That is where this could be going. At least that's what I think, and my alert's set at 107.50 here on Starbucks. Let's see what else ended up moving today. We had Nike move ever so slightly in the green, which is one that I'm not going to jump into quite yet because we're not getting the reversal quite yet, especially on this 10-day chart. You guys can see that. So if we start gapping out of 123 to 125-ish on Nike, that's where this could start reversing. But let's be honest, guys, we're not there yet. We're still in the sell-off range. You guys can see that here. Let's see if we can break 125. At that point, I would consider going long as, you know, we could be going 130s again, top of the channel here on the 4-hour. That's where Nike could be pushing. So, yeah, this one looks pretty decent. We just have to wait for the reversal. Apple is one that barely went up today, guys. Excuse me, I got to get some water. Actually, I don't even have my water on me. So, apologies for that, guys. But Apple is one that has sold off a bit in the past couple of days, which is actually... this is actually a stock that I trimmed. I mentioned to you guys, I sold a little bit of Apple, as I do kind of I don't want to get completely out of it, but I think out of big tech, there's other opportunities that are much better, especially at these levels, these valuations, than Apple. You know, I think Google is a better value here, Amazon, which both of those I bought more of them this week. And honestly, I just think they're better values than Apple. I think Apple is way too frothy. It's like $2.5 trillion. We've talked about this on the channel. I think last Saturday I made a video diving into their earnings and talking more about kind of their lack of innovation. They're not really growing like they were. Obviously, I mean, they're not going to grow like they were now that they're so big. That's the thing, guys. When a company gets so big, it's harder for it to grow like it used to, which is why you don't see Apple growing 50% anymore year over year. It's just not going to happen. You know, that's impossible pretty much, right? It's going to slow down. And now what are they growing? 5% a year, if that, 10%. I mean, I haven't checked the numbers recently. Off the top of my head, I'm forgetting, but it's definitely in that 5-10% range, maybe a little bit more depending on what year you're looking at. But and I'm talking about revenue, right, guys? So I'm not loving it as a long-term, you know, at this valuation, but as a trade, hey, it's coming down a bit. It's still above the 50 moving average. Looks like it had a green day today in the midst of a kind of choppy day overall. So let's see what it does here at about 150, 152. Maybe it makes a move back towards the mid-high 150s. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up playing out, guys. And if we look here let's see what other ones moved today. We had Foot Locker. We talked about that earlier. Amgen had a pretty good day. Let me pull up Amgen's chart. I haven't looked at this in a while. Oh, it doesn't look that great, guys. We have Head and Shoulders under the moving averages. We have a death cross. Yeah, I wouldn't look at that. Let's see. If we come down here on the red side of the watch list, which a lot of stocks ended up going red today, guys, let's take a look at Snap and Shop. Let's take a look at these two, because Snap, if you guys remember, I think it was over $12 earlier in the week. Now it's under $11 again, so it's actually in the mid-10s. We can see today went down 3%. Yesterday got slaughtered. You guys can see here, yesterday went down 8.5%, not the best day. And you can see a couple days before that, it was in the mid-12s, 12.40. Now we're at 10.60. So Snap is down 14%, just like that, in correction territory, right? So on the 4-hour chart, if we zoom in a little bit, clear this set. Let me do that. There we go. You guys can see the trend is still holding. And you could argue that we do have a bit of a bearish divergence, which is not the most attractive thing here. I'm not going to lie. You guys can see that. Look at the RSI. It's weakening as the stock keeps on going up. So that's not the best sign, the fact that we have a bearish divergence, but we could still get that pop. We'll see, and it's pretty oversold. I mean, you could argue if it comes down a little bit more, lower 10s, maybe we get a little spike back to the higher 10 range, maybe low 11s. So Snap is one that I'm watching. Earnings happen, the cat's out of the bag, right? And it's it might be one that does see a bit of a relief rally next week. And let me look at Shop. Let's pull this up. Shop's coming down as well. This got way too hot in the past couple weeks, and today it went down 2.7, and overall it's down not much from the recent high, but it is down about 11-12% from that 54.60 high from back in the beginning of this month. And we have Shop reporting earnings next week. 5 days from now. Today's the 10th when I'm making this video, so Shop's reporting on the 15th, which I believe is this Wednesday coming up. So yeah, keep your eyes out on this one. I think it might come down a little bit more. That's my guess. I wouldn't jump into it quite yet, but if it were to come down, let's say 40 to 42, 43, that is where, and of course, I'm not personally jumping into it before earnings, but earnings come out. This thing looks decent afterwards. Numbers aren't that bad. Guidance is all right. Stock's not freaking out too much. There could be an opportunity on it, right? Let's see if it comes down 40 to 42, maybe 43-ish. That'd be where I'm personally watching it. And, of course, let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments. And make sure if you haven't gotten your stocks yet, I forgot to mention, up to 15 stocks from Moomoo, each up to $2,000, link down below, and up to 12 stocks from Webull, guys. If you guys want to support the channel and you want some free money, who doesn't like free money? Use all those links down below. And now let's take a look at Spot, which I don't know why Spotify just popped in my mind. Let's take a look at it. I actually haven't looked at this one in a while. And look at that. Spotify today went up 3.6%. We actually took the highs out today. Wow, what's the catalyst on that? Looks like this was a move from a catalyst. So let's see. More than 100,000 tech sector employees have lost their jobs, yada, yada, yada. That doesn't have to do with, I don't know. Has Spotify cut jobs, laid off people? Probably. It looks like Value Act takes a stake. I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like some firm, looks like Value Act Capital Management, takes a position in Spotify, so that's probably why the stock is moving up. I guess whatever company that is, whatever firm that is, that carries a lot of weight, I guess. I haven't heard of them, but if you guys have, let me know in the comments. But it seems like that is what is moving the stock right now, which I guess you can't complain, right? You can't complain. Pretty good. So we're popping off that 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart here. We took the highs out. That's fantastic. And if I pull up the yearly chart, now we're actually, wow, look at that. We're actually approaching the highs from about August, which actually, by the looks of it, we took those highs out this week. That's good. That's good news for the bulls here, guys. And now the next main resistance is 135 on Spot, maybe up to the mid-hundreds if it gets really hot, and it looks like they already reported earnings, so it doesn't, we don't have to worry about that. And I forget if the earnings, I'm assuming the earnings were good considering the stock ripped from 99 to 113 after the earnings, and now, it's continued to go up. It's held the gains after earnings, so that's a pretty good sign. So I'm watching Spot here over the next couple of weeks, and honestly, guys, I just started using Spotify. I canceled my Apple Music. I was a loyal Apple Music guy for like a while. I don't know. It's been years. Years. And I just started using Spotify, and I like it. You know, my fiance had the family plan, and I wasn't using it. And I figured, why am I paying for both things? I'll cancel this, or Apple, and then I'm going to use Spotify, and I like it. And sorry, Apple, but Spotify got my business, and I'd love to know what you guys use. Spotify, Apple, what do you use? Let me know. You know, I was super loyal to Apple for years on the music, but I don't know why. I feel like I was loyal for no reason. And then I used Spotify, and I'm like, wait a second, this is better. And I just started using it. I've been using it now for like a couple weeks. I love it. So it's good. It's good stuff. So that's it, I guess, for the video, guys. We're about 18 minutes in. I'll wrap it up here. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe. Don't forget to get all your free stocks linked down below. Get your 50% off your first year of Seeking Alpha as well. If you guys want to check it out, Seeking Alpha link down below. And check out the Patreon. Join it if you guys want. I just started a Patreon portfolio. We're growing that. Link down below. I post all my charts. We have the Discord chat, all that good stuff. Feel free to join. I'll catch you guys on the inside. Peace out.